Hi y'all, I'm Allison. Welcome to the Mighty Bujo. Today we are going to continue on with my series of my books about books, and this is part 3, the reading journal. So this will be all of my monthly spreads, trackers, all of that stuff. This is a Tumbitri Meri bullet journal. I hope I pronounced that right. I highly recommend this brand. It's got really nice thick paper. You don't have to worry about your markers bleeding through. 220 pages, and it comes with 3 ribbons, and you get a big pocket in the back along with 3 smaller little sticker pockets. So highly recommend this brand if you haven't tried it. I've used it for my regular bullet journal for about 1.5 years now. But let's get on to the cover page. This is, like I said, my reading journal. And I am keeping my title pages consistent. So if you saw part 1 of this series, you will recognize this layout. If not, I'll put a link up in the corner. Part 1 is my book of books, and I'm hoping that book will last me 10, 20 years. So check out that video, and my mind went blank. Anyway, we've got the reading journal. Like I said, this will have my trackers and challenge info. Let's see, what else do I have in here? It's been a while. Reviews. That's it. I drew this up at the end of January. By the time I finished editing, I did the voiceover for this like February 12th. We're now in mid-March, and I discovered last night, as I was putting the final touches on so I could upload this tomorrow, that my audio did not work. So I am doing the voiceover again. So hopefully I can remember everything I wanted to tell y'all. But down here, I am putting my start date for this book, which is January 2021, and it will hopefully last me 3-5 years. We'll see. I'm only going to be doing a page or 2 per month, and then the reviews of the books that I read about. There's my daughter's cat, Ellie. And another thing I've decided to do with this little set of books is I'm going to be using colored pencils for all of my drawings and illustrations, doodles. I'm having fun experimenting with the blending and just the softness of the look instead of going with markers all the time. I am going to be using the markers for like title pages and things like that. But I'm really enjoying the colored pencils. Now, since I'm going to be leaving this bottom book open for my end date, I am going to lightly color in the spine so I can come back in with marker later and fill in whatever date that is. And I think it turned out really cute. Now, this is my yearly overview page. This will be the best of the best. Over here on the left, I'll list like favorite book of the year, favorite authors, series, characters, and I will have a grand total from this grid that I am now drawing over here on the right side. So this is going to be, there's a section for each month of the year, and it lists physical, audio, ebook, and then purchase and unhauled. And so at the end of the month, I will come in and add those totals. Now, I hate the number 2. I've never been good at writing it. I've never been able to come up with a pretty way to make a 2. So next year, I am going to be just grumbling all year long when we hit 2022. Way too many 2s. And over here, I'm trying to make it look good, and it didn't work. So I will continue on my quest for a good 2. But I use silver over here on the right for my monthly titles, and I didn't allow time for it to dry before I dragged my ruler across it. Luckily, I was able to cover up the smudges with the black. So this page was kind of, it was challenging, but I really like how it turns out. Adding the drop shadow to the monthly boxes really made it all pop, and I'm quite happy with it, despite my 2s. But moving on, this is for my reading goals for the year. I hope to read 52 books for the year. I've been in a reading slump and hadn't really read anything in years, to be honest. I've listened to audiobooks while diamond painting, but that's been about it. So I'm excited to be getting back into my books. Down here will be for my legend. I'm going to be color coding this, and I had accidentally drawn one of the lines too long down there in the bottom left. So I decided to just go with it and make it look like it was intentional and use that little space to write the first letter of the month. So like I said, each month will have its own color, and as I read the book, I will color in the number with that corresponding month's color, and I'll have a nice little overview. I put a star for 52, that's my goal, and I went ahead and made 65 boxes because that's how many would fit. Over here, I will put the corresponding title. So, and then I will use this throughout the rest of the pages that come. So, first book I read, I'll write down the title after coloring in the square, and from then on, book number 1, or the number 1, will always correspond to that title. So, it turned out to be The Scarlet Pimpernel. So, I'll write a number 1 on the review, or anywhere else that I want to refer to that book. I did skip a few pages, and that is for the covers. I'm actually going to make a cover of every page book that I read. Sorry, I'm going to make a copy of the cover of every book that I read and then have a visual overlook. But my printer was out at the time, and so I just left the pages until we replaced the printer. Over here now is a list of the new books that I'll be requiring this year, with space for any that are gifted on the bottom. And this will be my dearly departed, and these will be the books that I have chosen to unhaul. And we're sticking with the gray and pink color scheme for the beginning of this book. Nice and simple. Now this layout is for the series, and it's just going to be a simplified overview of series. So like say Harry Potter, there's 7 books in that one, so I'll just write Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, and draw 7 little squares, number them, and then color them in as I read them. And that's just so I can keep track of where I am in them. Some series get rather long, and I want to get through them, make it to the last book. Now, you're also about to see this heading becomes like a bad hair day. I didn't plan out my color scheme. I wanted it to look uniform, but without being exactly the same. So I just kind of randomly colored and drew little lines and circles, and I am not happy with it. I was tired by the time I got to this point and didn't really take any time to think it through. So I'm not happy with it. And the more I worked on it, the worse it got. It was a bad hair day. It was just like, this isn't working. So it's like, I'll try the black, or maybe if I change this, or I think I'd start adding in dark gray. And we've all been there. This is just part of bullet journaling. You're just like, what am I doing? But you can't stop yourself. You just keep fiddling with it, and eventually you just have to go, you know what, it is what it is, and move on. So we've all been there. We've all got pages like this, and it's okay. You learn from it. Down here is going to be my legend for this one. I will be using I'm going to have to look. I think it was a square for a main work, a triangle for the novella, a circle if it's a companion, like world building book, and then a diamond if it's an anthology or short stories. And then so I'll just use that shape and write in the number. This project, it took me probably about a month to set up, and I just couldn't wait to start using it. Here is the Read Your Bookshelf Hey Reader spread that I did. There's a separate video for that. as well as one for the TBR knockout. So I'll put links up if you would like to see those drawn out and learn more about them. So now we're moving on to my actual January layout. This is for my stats for the month. I intend to keep this book simple with the monthly layouts. I'm going to just stick to like a 1-page double spread and then just follow it up with the reviews of the books. I really want this bullet journal to last multiple years. I don't want to have to continually redo it. So I'm going to keep my monthly pages as brief and simple as I possibly can. Over here I'm drawing some post-it notes, and this is where I'm going to put information for the challenges that I'm doing for the month. It'll have what the challenge is or the prompt. Like, I think it was read a book with red on the cover, or a color in the title, I believe it was. And then I'll list some books that I own that could be possibilities, and then go from there, which you'll see in a moment. You may notice the the pink on these markers, the mild liners, and that is so I know that those all came from the pink pack of the zebra mild liners. So they all coordinate very well. Here's the books that I want to read for the month, and along with the corresponding challenges. And then I'm leaving space for any extra titles. I kept this. You'll notice my title area is very short, and that was because I didn't start setting this up. I think it was like January 23rd. So I knew I only had like a week left in the month. So I just did space for 4 books, which, by the way, I did manage to read. So yay. This has worked. It's gotten me reading again. Now I will, after this series goes up, I will post another video showing how all of this works and me filling in the pages. Like I said, this is now mid-March, and I have been using these books like almost religiously. I am loving this system. It works so well, and it's easy to keep up with and maintain, and I found it very motivating. I can't wait to enter in the info when I finish a book. So if you've been, struggling with your books that you've been wanting to read, we all do it. We're getting a slump. You might enjoy this system. It's fun to do. I love seeing it. So I like pulling it out and writing in my titles and coloring in my squares. Now this section is for the reviews, and I decided to use a tip out. I'm not going to list all of this information for every book, but it's information that I might possibly include. Like if there's a movie adaptation, if I read it as a ebook, audio, physical, part of a series, all of that pertinent information. But like I said, I will have a follow-up video showing this system in the works, and you'll see what I mean. But here's the final flip through. Thank you if you've made it this far. I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but I really hope you enjoy it, and keep an eye out for part 4. That will be the last segment of this, which is my author index and a whole bunch of different lists so I can find things. So there's my hot mess. All right, so here's the tip out. And that was it. I hope to see y'all in the next one, and have a good one. Bye now.